Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline and today I am back with a video on insane medical treatments we used to use. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notification, like this video, and you can also go follow me on my Instagram that's also called The Art of Being Ill. This video is a part of a series I'm doing about medical treatments that we have used throughout history that makes us grateful to be patients in the 21st century, despite the fact that our healthcare system is clearly not perfect. So I have 3 treatments that I want to tell you about today, and let's just dive right into it, right? So a treatment that has actually been used since the beginning of time, almost, not quite, but for a long time, is bloodletting. And this is literally draining blood from the patient, either by using leashes or by literally cutting people's veins open. And please remember, this is before there was any type of anesthesia. It might sound a little strange to you, I know, but it was actually very common, and it was something used for basically anything, any condition, any illness. And it was because there was some ancient physicians that believed that illnesses was caused by an imbalance in the body's 4 liquids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. So by draining blood from people, you would restore the balance between these 4 body liquids. Today, we know, of course, that is bullshit. That's not a thing. Of course, it also came with a lot of risks. As you might know, if you lose a lot of blood, of course, you become weak. But it would often also cause infections because you literally just cut people open to drain their blood. Like, it caused infections a lot, so you might lose your arm or you might die from the infection. Of course, it could also lead to anemia, and of course, losing too much blood, you die. So death was common. This next treatment that I want to tell you about is gonna shock you a little bit, because as a person in the 21st century, we know that this is the stupidest thing on the planet. But clearly they either didn't care or didn't know back then, I'm not sure. But in the late 19th century and the early 20th century, cigarettes was actually marketed as a treatment for asthma and other lung conditions. You heard right. Cigarettes for lung conditions. So why would they do that? Why would they use cigarettes for lung conditions? The logic behind it was that inhaling smoke was believed to clear the lungs. It was believed to reduce mucus production, and it was believed to open up the airways. Of course, we know that that was not a good idea. We know that today, and it had severe consequences, as we probably know, all of us, right? We know cigarettes are bad for you. It's not really good for anything. So of course, this kind of treatment led to respiratory problems and long-term lung damage. We know that cigarettes are addictive, and it also severely increased the risk of cancer and emphysema. So basically, you are treating lung conditions like asthma with something that causes lung conditions. Is it just me, or does this sound like a marketing scam? The last insane medical treatment that has been used in history I want to tell you about today is actually also one I can understand the most why you would think would work. And that is radium therapy. So radium is, as you might know, a highly radioactive element, and in the early 20th century, which is really not that long ago when you think about it, right? It was actually used for a lot of conditions such as arthritis, cancer, and even mental illnesses. It was even applied in creams, tonics, and spa treatments. So why would they use radium for these things? I mean, well, initially radium was thought to be some kind of a wonder element, and it had these glowing properties. So it was thought to have an ability to bring healing energy into the body. Now, I said that this is the one I understand the most why you could think works. And this is because, well, first of all, when you discover a new element, clearly you have no idea what it's doing, right? You don't know anything about it. But also because it is glowing. Radium glows. So I can understand why you could see that as some type of energy that you could think could be good for you. I mean, it's not 100% logical, but I understand why you might think that. Of course, again, in the 21st century, we know that this had huge consequences. Clearly, people would get radiation poisoning. They would get bone decay, and they would get cancer and die from it. It actually had a lot of consequences. It was used for like everything. There is this very famous story about the so-called radium girls who would work in a factory where they handled radium paint, and it had severe consequences for them. Bone decay, teeth falling out, hair loss, like that. It had severe consequences for them. You should look up that story because it's actually quite an interesting story. But we of course don't use it today, and let's just be grateful for that. So I hope you liked this video, and let's just take a moment to remember how happy we should be to be a patient in the 21st century, even though it's not perfect. Like the healthcare system is far from perfect. And let's just take a moment to thank everyone who came before us, who were literally experimented on so that we could develop medical treatments that is not that insane. I hope you liked the video, and again, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, turn on notifications, and you can also go follow me on my Instagram. That's also called The Art of Being Ill. Have a blessed rest of the day, and I'll see you next time right here on my channel, The Art of Being Ill.